What it do, fam? Today we are gonna be looking at some terrible car buying decisions. I used to be a car salesman, so I know a lot about this field. So without further ado, let's get into it.
This might not be what you want to hear, but if you don't have the money now or your parents cannot pay for it, do not get a luxury car until you are older or have that money to buy one. A lot of kids go into crippling debt for auto loans and think that it's a great decision. I understand wanting that 500 horsepower. I understand wanting to mod your car. And I also understand you want red guts. I understand how nice having a good car is, but you gotta be patient with your money and your time and your effort, and especially the things that cost so much.
When I tell you
Now this kid is very very smart. Let me tell you. Me when I was his age, I messed up and took on a $50,000 to $60,000 loan. I was a car salesman. I was making bank back in 2012, and I put myself in a financial freaking prison that I did not escape. Thankfully, it was a lease, and I returned it after 3 years, and I sort of learned my lesson. But I've been learning ever since, and now I have like the car that I've had for the longest, and I'm can't wait to pay it off. I'm close. I'm never gonna get myself into another thing, into another loan. This kid is smart. He's ahead of the game. Now let's hope that he's actually going to listen to what he's telling other people to do. Because yes, it's nice to have the 500 horsepower, but what are you gonna do, dude? At that age, what are you gonna do? You're gonna wrap it around a pole? There's this very famous song in a Spanish song. They're called corridos. They're like storytelling in a um, they're like storytelling in a song, right? And in the song, it's called "Le compré la muerte a mi hijo." I bought my son his death. So this dad that was very wealthy bought his son a Camaro that he wanted. And at the end, like they're building up in the song and everything. The kid's very happy. He loves it. Then he gets a call in the middle of the night that your kid was involved in an accident. He bought his kid's death. So keep that in mind to all the parents that are watching. Don't be stupid and buy your kid a fucking Hellcat. You never know what's gonna happen.
that your car payment is keeping you broke, it is. I want you to realize that one of the best things you can do for yourself is one, not have any payments, but two, especially on cars, do not have a car payment. Save up, pay cash, do whatever you need to do to never be in a situation where you have a car payment ever again. I want to show you with numbers what I mean by that. Pull up an investment calculator and plug in these numbers. Let's say you are 25 years old. I just searched the average car payment right now. It is $734 in 2024. Plug in that right now you have zero savings, okay? You are 25 years old. You are going to invest $734 in the good growth stock mutual funds, and this is how much you will have by retirement. If you were to never add a single dollar more,
Yeah, she's right, but she's getting a little bit long winded. I don't want you guys to click off. Basically, what she's gonna say is, if you just put a little bit of money, like if you take that car payment and you save it, that's fine and dandy. But nobody's really realistically gonna do that unless you're very disciplined and you're gonna buy a 5G car, which don't exist anymore. Let's be real; those cars are long gone. You're gonna have to get something around 10, 12K, and that's gonna be you saving from the time that you get your first job. Maybe your parents help you out a little bit, and you find the car that's decent enough to get you to when you're like better off in your 20s, right? Maybe 18. But that realistically is a stretch, you know. What you should do, this is going to be good advice. Get yourself a cheap car that you can easily pay. Don't get yourself a Hellcat. Get a 401k as soon as you can and put about 4% in it, right? Hopefully your employer has a match. Do that and never cash it out. I don't care if you get fired. I don't care if you quit. I don't care if you leave your job. I was stupid. I had like 20, 30K in my 401k when I was like 20. I left my job, fell on hard times, obviously, and I had a kid already at that time. So I cashed it out. I didn't know what compound interest is. So if you compounded that and I would have rolled it into what I have now, that would have been, man, oof. Oh God, I wish I knew. I'm like 12 years older now, so that would have been an insane amount of money. So when you do get a 401k, put money in it. Don't get high ass car payments, especially if your parents are being nice enough to let you live in their house rent free. So yeah, stay in your parents' house as long as you can. Don't be a burden. Get a cheap, affordable car. Go to work every day. Get a 401k if your job offers it. If they don't, then just put some money aside. Start your own 401k. You can go to a bank and get a Roth IRA and do that.
ever again. By the time you retire, you will have more than $5 million. And let's say we're half wrong, okay? For the naysayers, I can already hear you guys, where are we gonna get $5 million? You're going to invest in good growth stock mutual funds. But let's say I'm half wrong. you would still have $2.5 million. That's more than what most people have. And you are throwing that money away every single month in a car payment.
Yep.
That is literally you taking a car payment, just investing it. That's all it is. If you take anything away from this video, it is to
Yeah, but see, that's the problem that I have. Nobody's going to be able to do a car payment and do this investment, or like not have transportation and do this investment thing. Because for this to work, what her scenario is, it's good advice if you can get around the whole like if your parents gift you a car every time that you need one, perfect. But you cannot get through life nowadays without a vehicle. That's the problem with this scenario. So the equation works, but you need to be realistic. You're gonna have to get a car that works and gets you without a lot of problems, though, doesn't leave you stranded, and you can still put some money on the side in like an investment fund. And a lot of people, a lot of teens don't know that, or they don't really care about it. But I'm gonna set my sons up perfectly for this. I think parents need to tell their kids and take control of their finances. I know it sounds crazy, like, oh my God, you're gonna take my finances, you're a freaking you're a tyrant, whatever. No, I'm trying to set you up for success so that you don't make the same mistakes I did. And my son actually understands that. So I think we're gonna be good there. I'm gonna help them, because I wish my parents would have helped me, but they're first generation immigrants here, so they didn't know what they can't teach you what they don't know.
never have a car payment. That is your one goal. Moving forward, you should aim to never have a car payment.
The car
She's
payment
right.
that come with it is a flex. I want
To never
Sorry.
have a car
Sorry,
payment
guys.
ever again.
not having a car payment is a flex. I want a new
Agreed.
car so bad, but I don't want the car payment that come with it. I guess I'll keep riding this motherfucker till the wheels fall off.
That's it. I am no longer gonna pay.
That's what I'm doing, but just make sure you get an extended warranty. I got a 2019 Ram 1500, and I got an extended warranty on it just in case anything goes wrong, because you know the reliability of Ram. It's been great to me so far, so they're not all bad. And I also, since I live in the Midwest, am getting the underbody sprayed, because what's the point of paying off the truck and then not being able to drive it because it fell apart?
Like, I like the smell of a money more than I like the smell of a new car. So I was just watching this Consumer Reports that's saying that the car market is starting to get donkey, as if we didn't hemorrhage enough with
Donkey?
like the housing and the rent and the groceries and just pretty much everything. Now cars are getting ready to take a hit. And they're saying car payments can be up to as much as $1,000 a month. And I'm not talking like for the Escalade and the Lamborghinis. I'm
Camry.
talking the basic car.
RAV4.
No, sir. You will never see me paying $1,000 a month. As a matter of fact,
Never.
I am pissed that I was even paying $500 a month for this car. And I will tell you right now, this will be the first car that I have owned outright. Next month will be my last payment on this car. Like,
Congratulations, girl. That's my goal. I have still maybe 2 years left, but this is the longest car that I've had. I've had it. I did a 72-month loan, 72-month loan, guys. Be full transparent. So don't feel bad. Sometimes you just got to do it. I didn't have this switch of mindset until about 2 years ago, when I was 2 years deep into this loan already. So it's not a big deal. The important thing is that you start somewhere. And I'm still bad with money, guys, in other areas. But I think that once I get this car paid off, I will have some money and breathing room. Plus my wife's car. We got them on like the same day. We have 2 car loans, but they're both gonna mature at the same time. So that means that they're gonna be done at the same time. So after that, that's like $1,200 that we could just put away or give us breathing room, guys. I'm telling you, I'm looking forward to that so much. But you gotta make these cars make it to that threshold, because nobody wants to live without a vehicle.
I will own this car first time in 51 years of living, because I used to be in that mentality in my 20s that, you know what, I'll always have a car payment. So I wanted to turn in a car every 2 to 3 years because I liked the new car smell. No,
It is
fuck
nice.
The new car smell. I'd rather have my money smell, because
The new car smell is nice, but she's being funny with the smell of money. I mean, yes, it smells good, but I mean, nobody really cares cash. But the point is, you know what else feels really good? Peace of mind, because you will not know stress until the freaking until the repo man is outside looking for your stuff, repoing your shit. Oh my goodness, that is what is nice, that you have money in the bank and you're like, oh man. You know what? If I don't want to go to work for a couple of days, and you know, I have like 6-7 months saved up, and I just want to say that's called FU money.
everything's too freaking expensive.
Somebody pisses you off, you
No
say F
way
you.
would I pay $1,000. And I fully believe like there's some cahoots or something going on with this. Because why is it? Because my car's starting to act a little funky here like the past few weeks, knowing that I only have one more month until it's paid off. And I feel like cars aren't even made the way they used to be anymore.
Extended
why is it
warranty.
The classics from like 50 years ago are still running no problem, but cars that are brand new with all the bells and whistles, just too much shit to break.
Planned
and it's
obsolescence.
Like they do it on purpose. Like the manufacturer's warranty goes out at a certain time because they know damn well it's going to break at that point. Why is it that most cars only last really long, 5 to 6 years? Because that's about how long you're financing it. So I guess they're looking at it like, wow, we've already priced people out of their apartments. We've priced them out of ever owning a home, priced them out of everything else. So pretty much they're going to start living out of their cars. So let's go ahead and jump ahead to the future and make cars.
She brings up a very good point that reminds me about the future, the 2030 plan, that you will own nothing and be happy. So they want everything to be on a subscription base. Owning a car for 20 plus years, that they want that gone. So if they can get that car to last 6 years, 7 years, until the loan's paid off, and then get you on another loan, that's what they're going to do. And then another part of this equation is the fact that parts are so damn expensive now. So if you do eventually have a breakdown, it could be something minor like a headlight. You know, some of these cars, you can't even replace the light bulb anymore. They make it that way on purpose so that you cannot replace just the light bulb. You have to get the whole light housing, which could be like a couple hundred, several hundred to like a couple like thousand, depending on the car. So you can't just change a light bulb. Like I know, like on the new Hyundais, some of the Hyundais, and this is an entry level Hyundai, you have to get the whole light assembly. Not just, you can't just put a new light bulb in it. They want this to happen. So I would get the oldest car year that I would recommend is like a 2021, because that is the last year that they right before they started pushing on putting planned obsolescence in cars. Now Camry, you have to pay to get like navigation or heated seats and things like that. They have a monthly subscription on these things now. Even though the car can already do it, they have a subscription for it.
Unattainable as well. So not only are we going to have to live in a commune with everybody because we can't afford to live independent anymore, we're going to have to start carpooling.
Or 15-minute cities.
I refuse. If this thing breaks down, I promise you I'm going to make little holes in here and I'm going to Flintstone that shit. I am going to Flintstone this car as long as it can get me safely from point A to point B. What are we doing? Make it stop. I'm done with the hemorrhaging.
So you get approved at a super high interest rate and your salesman says, don't worry about it, just refinance after a year.
Yeah, take it from a salesman, that's a freaking lie. That's not happening, bro. It takes about 3 years, and you're going to have that payment for 3 years, bro. Once you come back in, hey, I'm ready to refinance, unless you did some other crazy stuff in your life where, like, you got a bunch of credit cards, paid them off, you got somebody that has a 12-year credit card that put you on as an authorized user and your credit shoots up 120 points, don't believe them.
Now keep in mind, when you have a super high interest rate, the monthly payments that you make are really going towards interest. They're not actually hitting the car itself. So a year later, when you go to the credit union and try to refinance, they pull your payoff, and your payoff isn't even different from when you originally got the car.
Yeah, it's like $1,500 less, and it's been a year.
Because the principal wasn't hit at all. In this situation, the credit union cuts you back, which means that if your payoff's $20,000, they say the car's only worth $15,000, you have to put $5,000 down in order to refinance it.
And I don't know. I just feel like a 500.
Correct, and it doesn't catch up to itself until about 3 years. So, yeah, there's really nothing you could do, bro. Don't believe them. Don't believe when they tell you that it's a 20% rate. What you want to do is go to a credit union first. Usually they have more lax lending laws, and their approvals are a lot better.
$100 plus car note is absurd. But also walking, not having a car, and not having transportation is even more absurd. So, like,
That's
what
I
do we
was
do
saying.
in this economy? Because you need a car, there's no way around it. Everybody can't go to a car place or dealership and just drop down cash. And I'm not even sure that's something that you should or would need to do. How much are y'all paying for these car notes? Like, how much are y'all spending on car notes plus car insurance? Because it's honestly getting even more ridiculous. But I low-key can't even be mad at people for paying that much money, because what do? You need a vehicle.
You know, I think she comes from the generation I did, where like a decent car note on like a decent car was like $350 a month, right? And now 500 is actually the new 350. So 500 is not a bad payment. I mean, it is if you can't afford it. It's bad because people just can't afford it and they're signing up for it. You know, the wages have not caught up to like the inflation, and even used cars aren't helping because used cars are expensive as hell as well. So it doesn't really help. I think the only solution is to save up some money and buy yourself a cash car. But that's easier said than done because you need to get to work to save the money. And unless you're walking distance, which not a lot of people are, that's just not going to happen. And then another thing is the insurance, dude. I'm lucky that I live in a state where insurance is relatively cheap. If you live in Florida, Florida is like up here compared to like my state where I live. Because it varies state by state in case you guys didn't know. So, it's very hard to, yeah.
People who don't have a car will tell you just how annoying and how hard it is not
Yeah.
having transportation, not having a vehicle that you can
Yeah.
just count on to have 24/7.
Start
or
and go.
even having a reliable vehicle.
Asking your
Having a
friends for
vehicle that's
rides.
not reliable, that's always breaking down and causing you problems, is just as worse as not having a vehicle.
Yeah, making you
So
call
what do
off
you
being
do
late
if
to
you
work.
need reliable transportation?
This video is going viral because this young lady is returning her BMW X5M to the bank because she's tired of paying $2,000 a month and the principal is not being affected whatsoever.
Bro, if you can't pay that car 3 times in a month, you shouldn't be doing it. Well, that means that you need to be making at least. I mean, I know it would be 6,000, but that doesn't even cover insurance. I would say you have to be making around 8 to 10. Man, not even that, because that's rent. Because, dude, I don't even know, bro. It's ridiculous, bro. That is ridiculous, bro. You have to be very rich to pay. You know how much an oil change or a brake job is on this thing, dude? An oil change or brake job could easily be like, an oil change, like, man, like 1,000. I saw the other day there was it was an AMG, but the brake job was like $24,000.
I know I'm being scammed. 1990.
1,000.
Which is a hell of a lot, right? I know.
Not hundreds, 24,000.
But that was the dumbest mistake ever. But I'm here to tell you, y'all can have that car back.
There's a viral video going around from this TikToker, Just Being Brianna. She was surprised after 1 year of making almost $2,000 payments on a 2021 BMW X5M that most of her payments didn't really affect the principal balance.
Of course
and
not.
She only paid $5,000 towards the principal. This is why it is so important. This is why I post my customer videos for everybody to read the contract, to understand what they're getting themselves into, because these financial obligations are serious.
Oh, yeah.
And there can't be a situation where we will all be blind and ignorant to the fact to say that, oh, I'm being scammed. And I'm not blaming this young lady for posting her video. I'm sure she is shocked and surprised that all of her payments, which are very significant month to month, almost $2,000 on this 2021 BMW X5, didn't really put a dent in her principal. But this is where we take accountability, we take a step back, and we understand how do we improve and how do we better ourselves financially, mentally, physically, emotionally on the next part in our lives. So this is one of those moments, so let's take a look.
Let me confirm the reason you are returning the vehicle. I said I have had the car for a full year and it's only showing I paid $5K. I've been paying $19 from '94, which was wrong, 1998, for every month for an entire year, and no way I only paid $5K.
She's basically breaking down the fact that after 1 year of paying her payment, she feels as if she was scammed because she logged onto her Ally account and she tried to check what her principal balance was and how much progress she made. She was very shocked to find out it was very minimal. And
Yeah, this is why Ally is not a bank anymore. At least I think it's not, because they got sued into oblivion. We had an Ally loan before, and they actually didn't do us wrong, but because they did so many people wrong, and then our car was dead. Like, I'm telling you, we had bad financial decisions. This is a long time ago, but our car was dead, and we just let them repo it, right? We just let them take it, and they didn't even come after us for anything because this is right around the time that they got sued. So they, I guess, dissolved as a company or whatever. I don't know if they're still around. I really don't care, but I would suggest you don't finance with them if you can. Avoid them at all costs. But yeah, I mean, interest rates are high, bro. When your interest rate is high, most of your money up until around 3 years starts going, it goes just to the bank. The bank wants to make their money up front because you probably had bad credit and you're a high risk to them. So like in this exact situation is what the bank is worried about, that you're not going to go to the full length of the term. So at this point, they've made all of their money back up front. Not all, but a good amount of their money back. So look, let's just think about it like this. She made, in a year, she made two G payments, right? So what is that? Let me see. I'm really bad at math, guys. So don't come at me, all right? Don't come at me, right? All right, look. I just want to be exact. So $2,000 times 12 months. That's $24,000. So the bank made let's see, 24 minus, she said she only paid like $5K on it. They made $19,000. I was right. I should have just said it. I was going to say, I said 9 and then I got scared. Anyway, $19K they made already off of her. Now, when she goes to return this car, they're going to sell that car at auction, and they're going to make the rest of their money back. That's why when you have bad credit, you shouldn't do shit like this, because you are a high risk to them, and they want to make their money back up front.
She still owes over $100,000 on this 2021 BMW X5, and she is literally telling the bank that she wants them to come pick him up. And in this situation, we have to hold ourselves accountable, and we have to understand what do we get ourselves into. And she does admit in the video that some of her decisions weren't the best, weren't the most calculated, weren't the most educated, but she is growing and she is going to do a better job next time. And this is an example for all of us to understand that we should never put ourselves in this predicament where we are blindsided or we feel as if like we don't understand what we're getting ourselves into, because we do our own calculations, we do our own understanding in our head, and we sell ourselves into an illusion or a delusion that never is the reality. Most interest-bearing products are going to be front-end heavy, meaning the interest you pay will be towards the front of the loan. So all of your payments, or most of your payments, or most of the payment you're paying, especially when it comes to high interest
is going
auto
to the
loans,
bank.
I'm assuming in this case she has to have a 20% or more interest rate on this BMW X5M, because it's a 2021 and it's almost at $100,000, that most of her payments that she's making on auto pay is not going to go towards principal, it's going to go towards interest. And this also is true for credit cards, mortgages. Any product that has an interest rate on it will always be front end heavy, meaning that they're going to put the interest on the front end of the loan. And all you have to do,
and the reason they do that is so that they can get their money back faster. They get most of their money back, and then if you do default on it, they just sell the vehicle at a loss. Oh man, like I said, guys, don't go to a dealership and drive the car, and you have to do a lot of research before you go to the dealership. You know, find out what you can afford. A lot of people don't know this simple rule. Like, a lot of people say they want to be at $350 a month, right? They want that. This is how people buy cars. I want to be at $350. Well, I think that Escalade, to me, is worth $350 a month, but that's not how it works. It's simple math, guys. Take $350 and divide it by like one of the longest terms, right, which is 72 months. That's only $25,000. That's only $25,200. That has to include your taxes. So let's just say it's like $3,000. So your car has to be $22,000. So if that's all you can afford is $350, and that doesn't include interest, so your car really has to be around $20,000. So what you do is you go on like a website like Car Gurus, and you find the car that's around $20,000. That's it. That's the most that you can afford. If you're going to be shopping off of your budget, which is like your payment, and you know what you can afford, then you know how much your car has to be. But a lot of people, they don't do that. They think that, oh, that Escalade to me is worth $350 a month. I'm going to go try to get that. And then they drive it, they like it, and they come back. And let's say they had, by some miracle, they get approved, right? They get approved for that. And they're like, oh, $2,200 a month. It's like, how is that possible? It's a $140,000 freaking dollar car. Just divide 140 plus your taxes. Let's say 150,000 with all that stuff, plus, you know, whatever. That's what it comes out to, okay? And a lot of people, they don't know that. So I hope this video helped, and I hope that it helped you guys not get into this situation. I sold cars for about 7 years, so I know how devastating. I've seen people repo their cars, voluntarily drop them off. I've seen them, they've come back crying like, what did I do? And at that point, there is nothing we can do. Once the deal is financed and you take delivery of the car, there's nothing that we can do. You are basically on your own, and that is that. So now, this lady, she's probably going to have to rebuild her credit. What she can do, if she still has good credit, what she can do is voluntarily repo this car. And before the repo hits her car, if she wants to get another car, because it's going to take a couple of months for the repo to hit her car, she can easily go to another dealership and get something more affordable. Now the bank's going to be like, oh, you already have a car, why do you need a second car? So she might need a cosigner depending on how good her credit is, but considering she got like a 20% rate, it's probably not the best. So she can get a cosigner, her grandma, her mom, whatever, but that's risky as hell on her grandma and mom. But she can get another car before the repo hits and rebuild it that way, or she can just flat out file bankruptcy and start over in a year or two. That's about it. But anyway, I hope this video helped, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.